Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. And double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and as well as giving also the salutations thereof to the Yakim out there that's forwarding this ministry. It's the brother Laban coming at you another video, and can't forget giving also the salutations thereof to the wards the Yakim that's forwarding this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which is indeed through the Holy Spirit, which is the one and only true Spirit, indeed, and as well as also got to say shalom to the brothers and as well as even the sisters that support and say, which support what we say and what we do. All right, so what I want to do is I want to address this video here of this brother here called Malak Bonaparium. And in this video, he's going to show the followers of Vocab alone on the comment boards that even, yes, indeed, even the people that are so-called Latino Native American Indians today also descend from the East. All right, so without further ado, I want to play this video and you'll see what this brother's going into, and we're going to move forward as usual. So here goes.
Because I just got the ebook of it. Okay, purchase. Okay. All right, well, I'll have to do that while you're saying something else. Okay. Will Brown wants to know, what camp are you in?
I'm not in no camp.
Okay.
We're just a follower of the Messiah.
Conscious Chicano says Ephraim was half Egyptian and Hebrew. He was not Puerto Rican. Esau was Arabic and not the white man.
Hey, to Conscious Chicano, right? I have a famous doctor. I forgot what his name. I'm going to look it up because I just don't have it right now and I'm on the phone. It's a famous Egyptology doctor that's stating that for the time of Egypt, they called the Hebrews Hibaros. They called the Jews Hibaros. When you find out this quote, this word Hibaros is only referred to a Pacific people in the whole world. And it's referring to Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and some Mexicans or Colombians, but who are from the mountains.
So as he said, there was an Egyptologist which found out that on record that the people that he have named are indeed called the Hibaros, which is in relation to the word Hebrew. All right, so that's just even on a small level as what he's basically shown just by him speaking about this particular Egyptology as to what he found and proving. And I mean, when you look at Vocab Malone's eyes right here, and Salaki, I just had to stop the video, and Salaki, I just had to stop the video, and I just wanted to just make a respond to the. And Salakia, just to stop the video, there, basically, man, I just want to just address what he was saying. Yeah, Salakia, hold on, let's play this again.
Hibaros. When you find out this quote, this word Hibaros is only referred to a Pacific people in the whole world. And it's referring to Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and some Mexicans or Colombians, but who are from the mountains. So, I mean, you can say what you want, but I'm going to show some proof now. And for the record, I did ask Vocab Malone if I could play 3 videos that was going to show and prove our ancestor natives, showing that we came from the East. And yes, we are Hebrews. But I will play one for you, Chicano.
All right, now's the time. I guess that's a good segue. We'll have to get the rest of your questions later, everybody in the live chat. Thank you, Richie Torres, for the 10. If anybody else can hook up a brother with 30 so I can pay for this book, because, need the resources to talk to these guys. And we're going to play this video here. I'm going to make your screen the only one on here. That way it's bigger. And let's turn that volume up as much as we can here. Go ahead, the floor, hold on, I messed up here. Just give me a second, The floor is The floor is yours. You can play this video now.
Okay, thank you, brother. Shout out to Vocab Malone for being kind in this. This video is called Navajo Grandma, the Lost Nation of the Lost Hebrew Nation. And I'm just gonna play partial because I'm gonna make it quick. I promise Vocab that I was gonna make it quick. So.
This is Navajo Grandma again, and today we are going. My hair's going to be all over the place because there's a wind, and my hair might stand straight up. And I've already had that happen without Grandpa telling me. And one of the things, my hair was straight up. So if it's wrapped around my nose and things, sorry guys, this is not a beauty contest. So this is the beginning of the video. The question that was asked, and again, this is another live video question. The question is it possible that the Dene are a lost Hebrew nation? And that was Amy Till who asked that question. Another portion that I felt went hand in hand with that is another statement. This is Dene Spiritual Beliefs Pre-Colonization by Marion Spring. And this is, can you see it? This is from Grandma. She wrote this out. And before we start, Navajo Grandma thanks Amy Till and Marianne Spring. Okay? This video is dedicated to you women.
And I just wanted to speak on something that she's shown on this blue poster or placard, whatever you want to call it. It says, is it possible that the dying are the lost Hebrew nation? Or Dana, she mentions the word Dana, right? So the term dying or Dana is in relation to one of Jacob's daughters, which he had with Leah. So just even on a small degree, they still acknowledge, the history of the Hebrews, which you can read that in the book of Genesis 34 about Jacob's daughter that he had with Leah, which her name was Dinah. All right. So let's play this again.
Can you see it? This is from Grandma. She wrote this out. And before we start, Navajo Grandma thanks Amy Till and Marianne Spring. Okay? This video is dedicated to you women. And one of the men said, well, we're drawing. And she looked over and it was lunchtime and they were in a circle. And she wondered what they were doing, and she kind of walked up to them and said, what are you men doing? And of course she's speaking Navajo at the time. And one of the men said, well, we're drawing. And she looked over and she almost fainted because the picture that they had been drawing, it was a layout of palm trees and elephants. There was Jerusalem, and she looked at the waters, and there was this big, massive ship they had made. And they're like, and she says, where on earth did you get this? I mean, you're drawing this. You've never been off the reservation.
So what I'm thinking, in drawing that picture, what they were drawing was an event that occurred around, I believe it was around the 8th century BC, during the time of when the Assyrians, came into the position of power, or they're in the beginning stages of their power. During that time, you had the northern kingdom. They were under the Assyrian captivity. So then they wanted to leave, or to go astray from out of their Assyrian captivity to, reestablish themselves once again in the land that which was known as, at the time, Osiris, which you can read the book of 2nd Ezra 13. And it would actually show you the history on how the other 10 tribes, which are the northern kingdom, went to that land, which is called Osiris at the time, which means another land. And, like I said, they dwelt there to keep the commandments. But eventually, as it happened, because we're in the flesh, they wound up going off and venturing off into other doctrines and philosophies, what have you. And that's what happened. All right. But so that's what I think the men were drawing. They were drawing this picture of this big ship that they were probably in. And that was in relation to the story that I've given you, which you can read it in the Apocrypha, to be exact. So let's play some more on this, which actually did happen, by the way.
Well, they all looked at her and they told her, of course, this is our story.
Mm-hmm.
This is what has been handed down. This is where we came from. We came from the east.
So that's all we need to really, cover on this video over here. Because they were drawing this picture, her descendants were drawing this picture at the time of their great grandfathers venturing off from one place to another place, which is to escape the Assyrians at the time. All right. So why would they draw that if they had nothing to do with the history of the Israelites? Because they are the Israelites. It's just that very well simply put. All right. And I just want to read the scripture here in the book of 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 8, just getting right into the point. So it reads, for we can do nothing against the truth, before the truth. And that's a matter of fact. You can promote the truth in either which way you want to. I mean, you can give the truth a bad report, or you can give it a positive report, and the truth is still going to be flaring as it is yet this moment in time as I speak to you. You have a lot of brothers and sisters that are waking up to knowing that they're Hebrew Israelites, whether they're descending from the southern kingdom or the northern kingdom. It really doesn't make a difference. And all Vocab alone is doing, he's giving bad report on our belief because it really doesn't suit Esau's benefit at all. So anything that doesn't suit Esau's benefit, he tries to down it. But this is something you can't down, because this is a truth, and this is the truth of the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. And, he's got the worried look on his face because he's now going into the Latino side of things with this brother here, Malak Ban Aparium, which means king, son of Ephraim. All right. And showing that, and this brother's basically, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch some more of this, because maybe there's some more stuff that he covers that I can speak on once again. But, the truth is already out, and the truth is growing and growing. And many of us are acknowledging the fact that we are the children of Israel in the land that it was said that we would not be called the children of Israel. And that's in the book of Hosea 1, verse 10. From, Hosea 1, verse 1 to verse 10, to be exact. That prophecy is playing out right now as I'm speaking. So I just want to also read another precept, which is in the book of Proverbs 12, verse 19. It reads, the lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. And we're seeing that in live time, and as well as I'm going to say, in living color also. Because the Christian church, they're losing a lot of members by the flockfold. And as well as you're having so many problems with the churches, you have sexual abuse cases, you have, gun violence inside of these churches as well as. So when you look at all of that, which is what I've just said, which is going on in these churches, it just says that the whole Christianity doctrine is nothing more than a lie. And this is really what I wanted to say. But a lying tongue is but for a moment, because All they've been pushing out there is lies at the end of the day. You know, whether you want to say, well, God came to die for everybody, or any other things that they say, which is not true. So it's crumbling apart. The lies which is coming from all of these churches are crumbling apart. And the church of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the truth of the matter, is flaring up. Is equivalent to that of a contagion that cannot be stopped. You know, not a contagion on our behalf, but a contagion on Esau's behalf, because they don't want this thing to go out, but it's already gone out, you know, and it's just going to keep going out. It's going to keep growing and growing. That's just the reality of the matter. But anyway, what I want to also read is this right here. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 27. We'll begin reading there. For evil shall be put out, and the seat shall be quenched. Just like I said, all of these churches, man, and as well as you even have among the Muslims, they're also starting to question their belief, whether it's valid or not. Just to mention. So as it reads in verse 28, as for faith, it shall flourish, and corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. Because years ago, let's just say 80 years ago then, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure you had there and there very few men that knew they were Israelites, but the truth of us being Hebrew Israelites was not popular in the years prior to now. Right now, it's very popular, and it's become popular to the point where even your pop stars even know about this truth. All of these different celebrities, whether they were in the music business or whether they are in the music business or whether they are in the sports world, they all know the truth of being Hebrew Israelites. All right. Everyone knows about it now. So this is what's being declared. The truth of us being the sons of God, the people of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and the people that are already in our land declaring themselves to be those people are not the people. This is what we have in the year 2022. And other things are coming out, which is in relation to truth of the scriptures. So now what I want to do is I want to move forward to a different topic. And I want to deal with this situation over here. And we're going to read this article. So it reads, it says, the harsh reality of energy, TNS strikes the U.S. and Europe. The Wall Street Journal reports some European factories long dependent on cheap Russian energy are shutting down. For decades, European industry relied on Russia to supply low-cost oil and natural gas that kept the continent's factories humming. Now Europe's industrial energy costs are soaring in the wake of Russia's war on Ukraine, hobbling the manufacturer's ability to compete in the global market. Factories are scrambling to find alternatives to Russia's energy under threat that Moscow could abruptly turn off the gas spigot, bringing production to a halt. Europe's producers of chemicals, fertilizers, steel, and other energy-intensive goods have come under pressure over the last 8 months as tensions with Russia climbed ahead of the February invasion. Some producers are shutting down in the face of competition from factories in the U.S., the Middle East, and other regions where energy costs are much lower than in Europe. Forward, we're going to read some more. And this, it says, Global Map from Nations Online Project, annotation by Mish. On April 4, I wrote, deglobalization, new supply chains are inefficient and will drive up inflation. What I call proposed and is happening now. The EU does not want to use Russian oil or natural gas. And this was aired out by, it was the same guy, by Tyler Durden. So it goes as far as to read, going back to the point. Yeah, so anyway, as I'm going to read again, it says, so instead the EU gets oil from Saudi Arabia and has turned to the US for liquid natural gas. This economic madness is driving up the prices of natural gas in the U.S. as well. The price of natural gas in the U.S. is stabilized at a higher level thanks to an explosion at a U.S. LNG terminal. Instead, sending LNG overseas, it will be used here, but that won't last long. On the 10th of June, NBC reported the Freeport liquefied natural gas terminal will be shut down for 3 weeks. It has just been reported that Freeport will be out of service for at least 90 days, which sent U.S. nat gas prices hurting lower and the EU natural gas prices soaring higher. So, concerning this energy crisis, which will be purposely staged in the future, which is what they've been talking about. There's been articles that's been aired out 2-3 weeks ago about potential blackouts happening, or there's going to be a limit to the energy which people will be able to use. And all of this is done by design, man. All of this is done by design because we know why they are going to do this. Exactly. We know what the agenda is. As it reads in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 5th chapter, verse 15, as it reads, it says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small." And let's read this as well. As it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." In other words, their thoughts and their plans and their ideas. Because what are their thoughts and their plans and their ideas? It's to destroy the old world system, which is not really satisfying them enough so that they can come back and reformulate again and bring forth a new world system, which leads the way towards more control and more power over the souls of men, over the people, have you will. And that's why they're going to start doing these psychological operations. Hence is what we had, the first one, which happened in the year December of 2019. And we already know what that is. And I'm not going to say the word because they could cut my video off, give me a strike on my channel. But you brothers know what I'm talking about. But this summertime, it's looking like possibly certain places around the world could face blackouts. So we should be prepared for this, man. And also keep your eyes on the food supply chains as well, because they're gonna bring that to a halt, and all hell's gonna break loose. People are gonna start going buck wild, and it's gonna be civil unrests on a higher degree, which will entail Jacob's trouble, and which will involve the temptation, which will be covering the whole entire world, to try the world for that matter. And that is when the implantable device comes in, which is what we believe it to be, the mark of the beast. So that's all I have to say for this right here. I don't want to go too long. I said what I had to say. Hopefully you saw where I was coming from in this video overall, and at the end of the day, it was edifying. All right, so that's it on that. With that, I want to close and say shalom.